So tonight's topic is setting your team up for success. And what that means is just getting them going right from the get-go so that they are as successful as they can be. You know, we still can't control what they're going to do with the business. And the beauty is that it's completely up to them. But I find that giving them the best start, allowing them to achieve success as early as possible is what's going to keep them in the game and keep them interested. So we're going to talk about the startup meeting, where to find it, and how to do it properly. We're going to talk about fathering, because I think as women we're really good at mothering our teams, but fathering them is challenging but necessary. And then daily contact, weekly contact with our team, how you can help build your team's team. And I think that's all. Shouldn't be crazy long tonight. So first thing being the startup meeting. So thumbs up if you know where to find that. Excellent. Okay. So on teamsynergyinspires.com, there's tons of information. I really should go here more often and I don't. But under the building your team startup set steps for a new rep is the startup meeting. I will be honest, I did not do these startup meetings from the get-go. I thought they were cheesy. I didn't think they were necessary. And what I've learned is that for the most part, they're vital to your team member's success. Remembering that Sandy, Michelle, and Barb created this website. They're 100 Club NMDs. They obviously know what they're doing. The success in our company and our business comes from duplication. And I know as a teacher, it was much easier for me when I was just learning if somebody handed me something to go off of, right? A lesson plan, a resource. And then, you know, as I got more comfortable, I could adapt it and make it my own. But the fact that I had something, a tool that I could use is key. And your team member, when you do the startup and you read from it word for word, what it's going to show them is when they get their team member and they have to do the startup meeting, they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They can read from it word for word. And then their team member is going to read from it. So whether it be on a Zoom call like we're doing, because you can't get face-to-face with that person, and I just hit share screen if you saw on my Zoom call, or in person, you know, at a coffee shop, at their house, wherever it is, it's really, really, really important to do this. You're more than welcome to have your upline, if it's not me or me, come and sit, and I will often do the first few startup meetings for my team until they feel comfortable, if the schedules allow, right, for us to meet up. So literally we read from it word from word. So I say, you know, what an exciting decision you've made for you and your family. And I read blah, 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 okay? The only thing I would say I don't do in the startup is these videos. I often don't watch them when we're sitting in front of each other because I feel like that's something they can do on their own time. So I would either send it to them ahead of time and say, hey, you know, can you watch these videos? Or I would use the Eric Worre approach and I would say, you know, okay, there's 3 videos on here. When do you think you would have a chance to watch them? And they say, oh, I think I could watch them on Friday. And I said, okay, if I checked in with you on Saturday, do you think you will have watched them? Yes. Okay. Set a reminder on my phone right away. Saturday morning, I send them a little message and I say, hey, did you get a chance to watch those videos? If they say yes, I say, oh, what did you like best? If they say no, I just fire them. Just kidding. Then I say, you know, okay, do you think you'd have a chance to watch them today or whatever it might be, right? This has been recently updated, probably about 6 months ago. So it is, you know, better than it used to be. So we've got flipograms on here. We've got, honestly, everything your team member needs to get going. Okay. So I'm going to encourage you, if you have team members and you haven't done a startup, it's never too late. Ever, ever, ever. What I will also point out is that if you have team members already at VF and you haven't done a startup, feel free to go. There's a second one, and it's called New VF Next Steps. Sorry, guys, I muted everybody. Hey, sure. No. Okay, she's good. Thanks, Chanel. Does she have a name? Okay, so give me a second. Okay, there is a second section when your team members have gotten to VF already. There's a next steps. So again, if you haven't done a startup or you have team members that are VF, there's like next steps. That's the one to go through with them. So try and, check it off and be honest with your team. Just say, hey, you know what? I totally forgot to do a startup meeting with you. I'd love to go through that. Or, something I'm working on when I grow my team is really going back and making sure that everybody has what they need to succeed. Anybody would be happy to give you, some time to go through it. You're going through their virtual office. You're learning how do they build team, what's possible in the first 4 months, setting those dates. So that's where you're sitting doing the startup meeting. Somehow we've drawn on the screen now. Awesome. You're sitting in that startup meeting, and the fathering part comes in right here at number 5. Opening their calendar, having them set a date for their VF goal. Having them, let's see here, creating a list of 10 names, committing to events, setting their launch parties. All of those things are things, again, when somebody said to me like, oh, I don't think I want to do an event. Before I used to say, oh, okay, I totally understand. I didn't either. And then that's it. And then you leave it. Where instead, what I would do is I would just ask them why. Maybe it goes back to, they don't like home parties. They don't like this. And remind them that, they're fun and, I can host your first one for you. I don't mind opening up my house, if you guys live close, or all you have to do is the inviting, I'll do everything for you. I know that I was extremely nervous, and if it wasn't for Sandy, really encouraging me to do that party and showing up, even though I, sat in the back just scared and nervous and, didn't really want to do it, I definitely wouldn't be here. Jen wouldn't be here probably, because I know even though she didn't get started that day, she still remembers meeting Sandy and just the information, and that was her first exposure to it. And I got my first team member that day. I got my first customer. Events are key, and they're so gentle and fun, right? Maybe the person that's on your team that just signed up is, I don't know, maybe they are a fitness instructor, so maybe something fun like that. Or maybe they're like Charnel's husband, maybe they're a cook, so hey, how fun to do a salad in a jar or a cooking party or, whatever it might be. But set those dates. Getting that list of 10 names is vital, because then when you're checking in with them, instead of just saying things like, hey, how's it going? You can say, oh, did you get a chance to touch base with this person, that person, Usually in that startup meeting, number 6, it's telling you to actually text or contact those 10 people right there and then. So right away, you've got 10 people they've contacted, whether it be a 3-way call, like it says here, a coffee meeting. If I sent you a short video, do you think you'd watch it? You're just getting them going right away so that you don't leave and then they're by themselves and they're extremely nervous and they never actually get to it. Training events. Now, unfortunately, in the summertime, we don't have a lot of big events, right? Because obviously people are on holidays. However, we've always got things going on. We had a Build Your Wings last week in Morinville. I can definitely do one again. I'm thinking probably August now would be a good time. Our next regional event is in September. So if you don't already have that marked down on your calendars, it's the 9th and 10th. So it's the weekend after the long weekend, September 9th and 10th. And it's in Red Deer this year. Last year, it was in Sylvan Lake, but we outgrew the venue, and that was when Natalie Baldock from Australia came out, and that was unbelievable. This year, the lineup so far I've heard is Dr. David Phillips, and he's from the States, and he's a sports medicine doctor. And he and his wife work the business together, which will be awesome for all of you, because you guys are, you know, husband and wife duos. I know. Even if, like, let's say I know Jackie, Chris isn't necessarily part of the business, but he's so supportive and he comes out to events. So I think it's fun, right, to know, first of all, there's a male host. They both work the business. You know, they're going to speak to parents. They're going to speak to athletes. They're going to speak to all those people. So getting that person committed to that training. And let's see. Okay. Launch parties, fun. Oh, one thing we really could do, talk to those girls, is switch video number 9. So we have our awesome Canadian marketing fun videos. I can't see Charnel and one thing I guess that would be really cool, you guys, have any of you used those new videos to send to anybody yet, besides just posting over social media? No. Maybe that'll be part of my challenge this week. Okay. All right, and social media basics. So here, when you're adding your team member, they might be a customer at the same time, and they might have already been, showing them the Healthy Living Club on Facebook, and where they will add their customers, and then having them watch this video is key, because I know it's very rare we get somebody who's really comfortable with posting on social media about their new business. And if we do, I can say honestly, they're usually salesy. They're very salesy, and it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, right? So that gives them a ton of information and tips and tricks. And if you haven't watched it, definitely take the time after to watch it. I was learning from somebody from the States who was really, really, really successful. And what she said is when she gets a new team member, when she's sitting down doing that startup meeting, she actually has them post their first social media post. So last week when we had our Build Your Wings, I had shared the tips and tricks from the blogger that sat down with us. The biggest takeaways, and it was nothing new, but just is that short and sweet, right? Just very short and concise. A personal picture, I would say, is much better than just a gimmicky Juice Plus logo. So whether it's, you know, a picture of you with your Juice Plus, or your kid taking their Juice Plus, or whatever it might be, but as personal as you can, be creative with it. And just a short and sweet, you know, oh, I'm so excited, I just got started on, you know, something new, or I'm feeling so much healthier. And then maybe a few hashtags, but you don't have to go crazy. You want people to ask you questions like, oh, what did you get started on? Or, oh, what is that? Or, you know, a hashtag like kids eat free, or, you know, 30 fruits and veggies before 9 a.m. Anything like that, just sitting down with them, getting them to post right there, gets them comfortable with it, gets them some more leads too, because people are watching. I've never actually done this homework section. Maybe this is something that I've made lists. So on the homework section at the bottom, it says, complete a prospect list of 100 names. Then when they come to you and say, oh, I don't have anybody else to talk to, you can say, hey, check your list of 100 names. So all of us, I guess that's going to be our homework within a week. Come up with a list of 100 names of people. I know some of the trainings I've been listening to, audiobooks and things like that, have said that the most successful people are always adding to their list. You know, so it starts with 10, this 100. You may never contact them, but it just keeps you knowing who to contact when you're trying to do your daily, you know, business. You know, it's somebody else to reach out to, so you never feel like you don't have anybody. And At the bottom here, this is for you. So having them download WhatsApp. The daily dose for us is our Sun Crew page. I find WhatsApp helpful. I'll be honest, I don't use it as much as I should anymore. I find the Brainstorm WhatsApp is the best to add a new distributor to, because then if they can't reach you, they have, lots of people who are on there that may be able to answer the questions. So WhatsApp, adding them to Synergy Juice Plus, so just making sure they're comfortable with that. Just saying, can I add you to our big group page? There they get welcomed in. They realize how big this mission is. Doing that private message thread with your upline, like I said, if it's not me, so everybody up until myself, Sandy, Michelle, and Barb. Again, just so that we can welcome them. We do kind of have, if you've done a few now, a copy and paste, and we just personalize it. But again, they realize, okay, I have all of these people here to support me. We have our flipograms in there. Sometimes I've even tried to do a selfie video in there to even make it more personal if I can. Here's where it says help them compose their first Facebook post. So there you go. I would even go a step further, and if they're not on Instagram, what I'm learning is Instagram and Twitter are actually even more people are on than even Facebook, and you can link all of those accounts. If you don't know how, next time we're sitting in person, ask me. But when you do a post on Instagram, you can have it directly post to Twitter and to Facebook. So you're just reaching more people. Now there are a lot of group pages. So there's the Juice Plus reps, Let's Exchange Ideas, Juice Plus Canada, testimonials, blah, blah, blah. Ask them if they want to be a part of it. If they do and they're feeling overwhelmed, or just get them to turn off their notifications. But again, it's just I find the best part of it, to be honest, is that Juice Plus is going to be a part of their daily, every time they're on social media, they're just going to see something, and hopefully it will keep them kind of in the loop. So that's what the startup meeting looks like. The fathering, again, is just, you don't have to be a hard ass. You don't have to, like try and whip them into shape or anything. But it's really important to get them to set the dates, set those events. It really is best case scenario to get them to VF in that first 30-day window, because that's probably their first order date. If you go outside of the 30-day window, you start losing orders, right? So it really is important to kind of get them the ball rolling, get them to VF, and then get them to qualified. If you can get a distributor qualified within that first, I would say, at least 4-month window, if not 2 or 3-month window, that's a huge deal. Being qualified, even when you think of your personal business, and I know even mine, there's such a small percentage of people that are actually qualified. It really is the sign of a strong business, and where their paycheck starts to grow because they're earning that extra 4%. And hopefully by that time they've gotten that VF bonus of $300. When they qualify their business within the first 4 months, they're getting another bonus of $300. Or I believe it's $200, because there's 2 different options now. But they're starting to see like, hey, it really wasn't that much work, and I got all this bonus money. And then they're that much closer to sales coordinator and that bonus of $1,000. So again, it's just kind of getting them going. It's going to be a win-win. The amount of time you're going to put in is really, you're going to benefit tenfold, because now you've got at least 10 of their people, if not 100 of their people that you have access to, hence the network marketing, right? I shared with Jen, well, she knows a ton of people. So that opened up the network, right? I shared with somebody who's no longer part of our team, who shared with Jill, who shared with Jackie, so right away you've got this huge, like exponentially, this network of people. And then, all of you are here. I think Jen's the only one that I knew, because somebody shared with you, who shared with somebody else, who shared with somebody else. So really just taking that time. And then, let me just check my notes here. Daily contact. Okay, so I'm going to log out of this screen share. Okay. Oh, Well, hello. Let's do a gallery view here, guys. Okay. So daily contact. I would say, especially if they've set their goal that they want to get to BF in that first 30 days, you need to be in contact with them. Charnel, you've got a new distributor. So here, I'm gonna unmute you now if that's okay. Is Crystal like geared up and ready to go to get to VF in her 30-day window?
We're working towards it. She has a Facebook party next week.
Yeah.
That
Awesome.
was the first thing that we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she seems like a little eager beaver, so she's one for sure that I would say, daily contact, whether it even just be like through a text or something, right? We got her to TD already, is vital.
Okay.
Yeah. And that startup meeting, if you haven't already.
Yeah, I haven't gone through that with her. I really should.
Yeah, do it. Even if it's just over Zoom, because you guys can't be in person.
Okay.
Okay, now guys, totally your call. I'll mute you again, Charnel, but I'm gonna let you, you guys pick if you wanna add something. And getting on the phone once a week, something I don't do as often as I should. Sandy does it with me quite often. And even if it's not business related, she's just like, hey, how's it going? Clearly business is gonna come up, right? You're gonna start talking, you're gonna figure out, what's going on with them, what do they need help with? We always joke and laugh that this is like a personal development course disguised as a virtual franchise. If something's holding them back in their business, it's probably personal anyways, right? They're feeling like they're not worthy, or, they're super duper busy. They've got all these excuses. So just talking to them to see what's going on in their life. Maybe their grandpa just passed away. So bothering them and telling them to, put on their big girl panties, it's not the right time. And you're going to learn that just by picking up the phone, and having a 20-minute conversation with them and just seeing where they're at. And then building their team. So again, doing those startups with them, setting those dates, contacting their team. Again, you guys, like I said, some of you are my direct downline, some of you are somewhere in the organization, and just having that contact. I know for me, Sandy's my upline, but knowing that I can contact all of these people like Barb and Michelle and, who aren't even at our sidelines, just really makes me feel safe knowing that I've just got this whole community of people here to help me. And I think that's really key for our people right from the get-go, is just knowing they have that support as well. If you get somebody and you're thinking like, oh, okay, this, I don't know, let's say for example, a guy on the team. So I know for Charnel's husband, for example, he's a sales coordinator, but only recently really started working the business. And I just realized, he needed a guy's perspective, because as much as I can help him, I think that it is a little bit different. And so, connecting him with somebody else in the organization, Mark Hare, is huge, because, he is going to have different suggestions and ideas. And so if, your new person is a nurse, try and connect them with a nurse on the team. Or if your new person is, I don't know, they're in BC. If you know somebody else, like maybe Vaughn and Mark, or you just ask, or they're in Ontario, see if we can connect them as well to people who they're going to have things in common with. And, okay, so here's where I'm going to open it up, guys. Now, I'll let you guys unmute yourselves in case you have background stuff and you don't want to unmute yourself. But what is something that you feel, in the next week you could do with, a new team member or a team member on your team to help them to, really start working the business?
Who's going? I think that I will do the startup meeting with Crystal, and then I also have another new person, Margaret, and I was thinking of doing an event that both of them could invite people to, like kind of kill two birds with one stone, and then kind of get the ball rolling for both of them.
Awesome. Do they know each other, Charnel, or no?
No.
Okay, that's okay. I'm just curious. So.
Yeah.
That's okay. Okay. The power of doing those events together is, you know, they're each going to bring 3, 5, whatever people in a room. Those, you know, new people are going to be talking together, or somebody's going to ask a question that the other person was thinking about, and they're going to, you know, get the answer. They're both going to be new, right? Margaret and Crystal are new, so they're going to feel like, oh, okay, you know, I'm not the only one. That's a fabulous idea. Great idea. Okay, anybody else?
I also have that new team member, and we're meeting with her on Friday. So just hoping to, you know, really do the startup meeting strong, and hopefully she seems really gung-ho right now. So hopefully having a team member that's willing to work this business like I am.
Yes, Jen was the first one to get her new team member. And what did you say to her, and like, how did you contact her, and what did you say? I'm curious.
So I was like so scared shitless because she has been on the product for, I think, like just maybe a year or just over a year now. It was shortly after I started, and I've been throwing this business out to her since the get-go. Like, and she's just always been like, no thanks. And actually her sister, who actually is from Australia, came to Canada for a bit, and she ordered Juice Plus to come to Canada when she came here, but then she didn't get more Juice Plus when she went back to Australia. She just said they couldn't afford it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I just find that like my biggest weakness is not following up. Like when somebody says no, I'm just like, okay, like no, and then fade off to the background. And I will bring it up again, but I always just like, I take no as an answer, and I don't really think my responses through. Like, even if it's just an excuse for whatever reason, I know they're making up an excuse, but I used to be one of those people. So I was like, her sister, who's in Australia, just told me that she signed up for Juice Plus and the company and everything, but not through me.
No.
And I was like, damn it. I was like, I should have pushed her harder. And so I'm like, if I don't act now with Kim is going to join the business under her sister, and I'm going to lose her. And so I was like, I just need to do this now. Now is the time. So I just kind of started conversation with how things were going. And then it was like a 2-day process. And then I'm like, hey, this is the time. I just got to say, like, you know, I love you. You need to do this. Now's the time. And she didn't reply right away. It was a couple hours, and I'm like, oh shit, she's never going to talk to me again. But then she said, yeah, I'll do it. And so it was awesome.
Yay!
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh. And Jen, you know, like, we reached out and just said, hey, can we do a startup meeting, you know, play date with her? You know, like I said, you don't have to do those startup meetings by yourself if you're not feeling comfortable with it, guys. Okay? Jackie, Sarah, anything you guys can do this week with anybody on your team?
I'm trying to set up a home party, so try and build my team.
Okay, perfect. Did you guys get a date set, Jackie?
No.
Okay. All right. Yes, so hopefully you and Jill can find a date that works together. I'm super duper excited for that. Yay! Sarah, anything you can do this week?
I actually think that I never did a startup meeting with Jackie, so.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to say we never did one with you. I was like, oh no. Okay. All right.
I don't remember that far. We did
Yeah, I know. Okay, so Jackie, and does Jackie live in Miguel as well? Close?
No, Jackie lives in Saskatchewan.
Oh, okay. Another Saskatchewan. So a Zoom startup. Okay. And if you need any help,
I'm having a hard time getting her to like actually commit to doing anything. She's like, oh yeah, later. I work, so I'll let you know when I'm free. And I'm like, okay, well, it's summer now. Like,
yeah, it's been a few months.
yeah.
When you do the startup, you've got right there, you know, an opportunity to get some lists of names from her. And I like to even tell people, you know, regardless of what you want to do with the business. We just do these startup meetings with everybody so you have the information.
Yeah.
And they feel like, oh, okay, you know, when the time's right. Because, I mean, look at all of us. We're all, you know, went at different speeds, different paces. So it's okay. But it's still important that they get that startup meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know I had... okay, so we talked earlier. I'm going to actually stop